All right. Welcome to episode 3 of the Far Side of the Basement. I am the Far Outpost, joined as always by Basement Gym Dad, aka Jay. We have a phenomenal episode for you tonight. We're going to cover a couple things. One, our biggest home gym mistakes, right? What we've learned, what we've done, what worked, what didn't. We're also going to talk about what makes a great home gym community. Not from the same angles that we've already covered, but more of kind of just the in general mode. And then we got the poll question. That's right, the poll question. What gear can we not live without? And I'll tell you what, the votes were in, but also the amount of research that Jason and I feel like we've put years and years of research into this question for the almost 12 hours we've known that it existed. Yes. So we're ready to go. Jason, would you like to maybe start us out with your sponsors today?
My unofficial sponsors, who I am wearing tonight. Hopefully they're not ashamed that I'm wearing them, but I've got my Sorinex hat and I'm rocking the Be Humble Gym t-shirt today. If anyone's not familiar with Be Humble Gym, they are a not-for-profit gym out in Illinois that gives free memberships to those with mental and physical disabilities. And they sold these t-shirts when they were trying to pour the foundation of the gym. It's a great shirt. I think their website's down right now, so maybe don't jump there yet, but they are on Instagram, so you can give them a follow. Be Humble Gym. How about you, Scott?
Yep, be patient, and their website will be back so you can be humble. Yeah. All right, so I've got the Home Gym Con hat on backwards. This is the VIP hat. I feel like Jake would love that. He always wears the hat backwards when I see him, so I feel like this is going within the vibe that Mr. Jake would like us to have. And then this week, of course, on the pod, Power Lock. These guys, I own their stuff. I love it. This is the cinching collar where you twist it. It fits on your 2-inch bars. It fits on your 1.9 inch, right? Your logs, your axles, all those things. This is genius. Wow. Met these dudes. And of course, the story is they had a booth with Mo Strength, and Mo helped me carry my log in. I was carrying my log blocks from the hotel to the Strongman Throwdown. I thought I was doing an Arnold with it. I was going to carry it all the way in like Arnold in Commando. And I realized about 2 blocks in that I am not Arnold in Commando, and Mo bailed me out. And that is the reason I found this booth. So thank you, Mo. Thank you, Power Locks. Great company. And I appreciate the shirt.
I can't help but notice, is that Carp's Gym red?
It was. It's the Far Outpost red today.
Oh, okay. All right. I couldn't tell. I see him with us today, so I had to be sure.
That's awesome. Great. All right. So let's see what we got here. Last week we started out. Let's start it out again. Anything you sold? Anything you bought? Anything going on out there?
Let's see. Haven't sold anything today. I did list something for sale today, but recently I just finished another review for a preacher curl bench, which I will tell you, when you get asked, when you want to review something, it's usually something you use in multiple ways and different things. Preacher curl bench is hard. I look at all those ones that did the preacher pad a couple of years ago, and I was like drawing inspiration from them, and I got it done. I thought it was a great bench. I won't cross promote it here, but great bench. Go check it out on my YouTube channel at Basement Gym Dad. It was fun. And as always, my son helped me out with some of the pictures and videos. So good bonding time with him. And that was my home gym this week. How about you, Scott?
So Carp, I see you in here. Thank you for calling Mr. J a big dog again. Calling Jay big dog gets you right to the top of the line in his book. I have decided I am going to sell the LP2. The issue, of course, is that it's 775 pounds. It's 108 inches tall. It is the 8th wonder of the world. And so you have to bring a box truck with a lift. I am not going to help them get it out of here because I feel like that's my last stand to keep it, is that if they can't bring enough guys, maybe we don't have a deal. But what I'm finding out there in the marketplace, as we all know, and we might talk about this in some of our biggest mistakes later, is that it's tough when you get into something, especially a big item that's kind of like a kind of like a top tier item, and there's a lot of competing items out there that maybe are a better value for the dollar or a better value for a home gym setting, it gets kind of tough to move. So it's not going to hurt my feelings if it doesn't go anywhere. But apparently I have 2 guys Saturday morning racing to see who can rent the truck faster, and we'll see. So next week, if I still have the LP2, that means that nobody got a truck.
2 bites.
2 bites.
And I won't say the price that it's listed at, but it's got to be expensive. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's 80% of retail, and then I'm willing to go down a little bit more than that because they gotta. Well, no, I mean I've actually made the same deal with both of them. I've told them both that whoever gets here first with it can have it. They're landed on the same number, so we're fine there. But again, it's one of those weird things where I don't need to sell it, so I kind of don't care.
Yeah,
but I was jealous. You sold the Viking press last week, and I had to try to keep up.
Yeah. Well, I told you, being in a position where you don't have to sell is the best time to sell, right? It's like when you buy a car. You buy a car when you don't have to buy a car, you walk on that lot and you can leave. I think I shared a story with you that I sold my Avanco calibrated plates, which I always wanted it here. And I owned them, I don't know if it was 4 years. I think it was 4 years, 4.5 years. And I looked at them and I said, I don't need these. And I listed them for exactly what I paid. And I said, if they go, they go. And, they sat for like 3 days. And I think I had 5 messages of people that wanted to come get them. And it feels good when you feel you don't need to sell, but then you make your money back. You're happy with it. The buyer is pumped to get it for what they get it for. And they're going to a good home, not a flipper or anything. And it's a good time to sell.
Yeah, I feel like Carp is trying to tell you that next time you sell some chromes, maybe let him know. He said that they never come around his area. So
I haven't sold any chromes. I've gotten, I think when I posted those the calibrateds, the chromes must have been in the background. I got people from 3 states away. What will you take?
Hoping you're desperate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just said, I'm not in the market right now. Maybe down the road, but it got me thinking. I'm like, oh man, I could make some money on these. But
the only chrome that I have left are when Rogue did a special order a couple years ago, where they released a fully chrome set, and I just grabbed a couple pieces here and there. I didn't need a full set, but I wanted to grab them just because I didn't know how long they'd stick around. And it was one of those that sold out and said, kind of coming soon, and then just kind of fell off the website. It was coming soon for a long time, and I think maybe the pricing changed or maybe the manufacturing cost changed. But Carp says never mind. He says keep your rusty UMass chromes. I'm talking about the LP.
I don't see those. I don't.
Can you not see the comments?
Wait, I can see the comments. I don't see the rusty.
Carp and I go way back. I can riff for him a little bit.
He's thinking it anyway, so that's great. Thanks, Carp.
Nice. Well,
and thanks to Topic 5 for being here as well.
Yeah,
and Miss Scootsy. Who says that she can finally hear me after 3 weeks. Yes. Hey, I'm glad I can see you. I mean, I was ready to ask you to blink twice, make sure you were safe. You
Yeah,
sound good, look good. We are moving on up Jefferson style.
that's right. And Jason is also the captain of the lights. He sent me the link and was like, dude, will you just do something to help out here?
Wasn't in those words, I promise.
All right. You want to go with the special poll question, or you want to just open up with a rapid fire? What do you think?
Let's start up with the rapid fire. How about we sandwich it? Oreo cookie. Right? Just do the first topic, then we'll do the poll and then hit the second one. How's that?
All right. You want to take the first, or you want me to take it?
I'll kick it off. The biggest home gym mistakes we've made. Gosh, I hope neither of our wives are listening. Everyone has bought something they've regretted. If you've bought something you've regretted for the home gym, please put it in the chat, and we'll try to announce them all out. But equipment purchases that flopped. I got 2 that come to mind immediately. And just so you know, I don't stare at these at all during the day. I load them in right before this call, so that way I'm more natural. So I might have some filler, but 2 things that I think flopped for me. One was a gym pin, right? The adder weight
Okay.
that you
Yeah.
put in. My problem was I had a 200-pound stack. I want to say it was Parabody lat tower before I had the Titan 300 and pound. And I thought, oh, I really want an adder pin so I can go in 5-pound increments easier, and so I can do this, so I can do that. I got it, and I will tell you, I'm the small stack and I'll call it the economy of the Parabody. When I put the pin in and put weights on it, it almost shifted like on the guide rods. And so when I would go to do an exercise, it was like, it just felt awkward.
Like hiccups.
Sold it to my friend Dave for what I paid. Worked out. It was great. Wasn't expensive, but that was one. The other thing that I need to stop doing, and this is a great segue, I think, to something you were talking about to me last night, was multi-grip bars. I started with the Titan hammer grip one. Then they came out with the angled grip with the new knurling. Tried that. Then I sold both those. And then I bought the Elite FTS cambered multi-grip. And I couldn't get comfortable. Couldn't get comfortable with it. Loved the camber. Used it for a lot of tricep work. So it would stop, about 2 inches off.
Yeah.
So after bench, using it instead of a board because you train home, you train alone. It was a great pickup. I didn't use it enough. It didn't have knurling. So I was using a lot of chalk. It was slippery. It was a good powder coat, but that's all. So I ended up selling that. And I say this because I'm looking at that Moab one and I'm like, you have solved every problem that has been in my little gym that I have gone through 3 bars trying to find, which is hammer grip. I didn't love it all the time. Angled grip, I loved it a little bit more. Then I missed the hammer grip when I sold that one because I liked it for rows. And then when I went to the Elite FTS one, I liked the camber and I liked the feel, but I couldn't get a grip on it. And I'm sitting here watching this home gym con, seeing that bar and how it's going viral. And I'm like, man, that's got to be the smartest product for someone that likes a multi-grip bar that I've ever seen.
And you might be too big for that bar. Go Bro Athletics, prove us wrong.
Prove you wrong.
Yeah, because you can actually throw some around. So I could see you putting some on there. Yeah. All right. Well, mine aren't going to be that exciting. Mine are all from a past life. But the first thing that flopped for me was I couldn't. When we started building our gym, right, along way before kind of the modern day builders that are happening right now, there wasn't all-in-one. There wasn't functional trainers in your Rogue rack. There was like a 4-post rack, and then weights, right? And so I really wanted a way to do pulls, but there wasn't a home gym kind of lat tower-ish thing yet. Titan didn't have theirs out yet. Rogue had ones that were kind of more commercial than home. And there just wasn't, unless you could go find like a gym going out of business or something, there weren't great options. So I bought the Spud Inc. pulley system, where it was like a pulley and a pulley and a pulley, and you would like put it on your pull-up bar and then put it around, and it was, I remember laying on the ground, like almost laying flat on my back to do pulls because my rack was only 90 inches. And the way that the pulley system worked, it just didn't, it wasn't super functional. And it wasn't expensive. It's, $100 back then. But that was the first one that I looked at and said, I need to just bite the bullet and buy I went to a firehouse that was clearing out their 1980s gym. And I got like I don't remember the name of the company. It wasn't Hoist, but it was like a Life Fitness lat pull that probably was 70 inches off the ground. You know what I mean? So I couldn't even get a full extension, and my arms were too long for it. But it was better, and that was the solution. And then the second one, predating the rhinos, was I grabbed a hack squat from a place you probably know. It was a batting cage baseball kind of center of excellence, like a D1 sports kind of center for baseball. And they had all the batting cages and everything and the pitching, all the stuff. But then they had a weight section for the kids, and they were completely redoing it. And they were letting their hack squat go. And I drove all day to get across Denver to get it. I had to dismantle it, load it, drive it home, load it, mantle it. Right? Wow. And then I got to the end of it, and I think that we had that thing in the basement for 6 months, and I think we used it twice. I didn't, it wasn't big enough for me to get a really full range of motion. And I didn't have enough weight because a hack squat, you know, is really like what, like a 70 degree angle or something. I couldn't make it heavy enough. I was like putting weights in unsafe places to try to add some. And so those are the two where if I could go back in time, I could save myself a lot of hassle by just saying, look, we're going to buy a belt squat and we're going to cut a hole in the ceiling. And I think, well, you know, life would have been great, right?
Yeah. I have an honorable mention, but this one didn't become a mistake until I'd say 6 months after I bought it, which is actually in the photo. This thing, my Revolt chest pad. That was one of the first chest pads to hit the market, and I really wanted one for spider curls, row, chest supported rows, because I can't fit a T-bar in here. And I bought it, and then I think it was like a month or 2 months. It was more. I said it was 6 months. I'll say it was 6 months. And I saw ones like Exponent Edge coming out and some other ones that had the multi-adjust pad. And I thought, oh my God, that was the one thing that I bought too early. So that I would say it was an expensive mistake, because I think this was, I want to say it was close to $200.
Yeah.
And it stinks. I use it still only for chest supported rows, rear delt flies, things like that. But I wish I waited, and I just can't. I know I will get nothing if I listed that tomorrow.
Yeah. And what is that again? Say what it is.
Revolt, REVOLT.
Yeah.
It's a seal row chest support pad.
It's weird that you say that, since I just got my Exponent Edge in today.
I didn't even see it hanging there.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about it yet because I haven't had a chance to use it. I just wanted it kind of passively, passively back there. But
last week I had rope envy. Now I've got chest support pad. And this is
I'm excited. And I got the wide pad too. So I have both. I can use it for a couple different things, and you just switch the pad out. You're good.
What's your goal for the wide pad?
So honestly, let's say I could get a Nano, or let's say a Voltra, then I would use the box I'm on right now, the Games box, to sit on, and I would flip that upside down and use that as my my quad holder for my pulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd actually just invert it and then have it hold me down.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But I'm excited about the fact that there's probably a million different things I can do with it. I just have to get
do step ups. You could probably, I mean, I know it's a pad, but
yeah,
probably do it. Yeah, there's a bunch of things you can do with that.
Sissy squats. You can do all kinds of stuff, I bet.
And you have multiple angles in both directions.
Yeah.
To play with versus my one arm.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's kind of like I don't want to be too, again, I need to use it, and then I need to formulate my opinion. But I feel like the other alternatives out there, like the Pritchard pad or something like that, they're locked in one place. They have one set function. This has a bunch of different functions. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited to kind of see what I can do. And just for the people at my checkbook, right? This is not if you hear from me, I decided I wanted it. I procured it. I will review it. We're good. Yeah. But that's,
I was trying to think. The only other one that I even looked at the time was Bells of Steel. And I remember I had a friend that had it. And the biggest thing they said was the Bells of Steel one is so close.
Okay.
Your face is on the rack.
Yeah.
And that was why I got this one. But with that one's a much longer arm that you can do a lot more. I'm excited to hear how it works for you. So we'll have to set up a follow-up for that one.
So am I. Oh, what's this say? Strong Arm Sport has 50 pairs of red 25 pounds for 210 a pair. 50 pairs of red. You mean 25 kilos? Has to be 25 kilos. 25 pounds would be green. Of course, with Strong Arm Sport, who knows? They could be changing it to red.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
All right.
So then what do you got next one, Scott. You go first on this one. How's that?
Yeah.
Things you wish you'd bought sooner.
So this is what I put down. I had some thoughts on this. I feel like so when I started building the gym, I was coming out of CrossFit, where I wasn't like trying to do CrossFit, but I thought CrossFit was the most fun. That was kind of the most fun. And remember, I couldn't get an Alice Stone. I couldn't get a log. And I was, a lot lighter back then. So I wasn't really thinking strongman. I was thinking like, oh, let's do some kip ups and let's do some deadlifts and stuff. So when I first built my gym, it was like a CrossFit space, but then my kids wanted to do powerlifting, so we switched it to a squat, bench deadlift kind of space. Then I was like, oh wait, Slater will sell me stuff. So I reached out to Steve Slater and I got the Atlas stones. He's like, well, now I want a strongman space. And so I feel like I built my gym 3 or 4 times over the first 2 or 3 years, which is just a massive just pile of wasted capital, wasted time, wasted training, right? And so what I wish is that I wish I had a little more maturity. But yeah, that's when I say what I'd done sooner is I wish I had looked at the landscape sooner and said, you know what we're going to be? We're going to be a powerlifting house that has some strongman stuff. And that's it. You know what I mean? So yeah. How about you? What do you wish you'd done sooner?
There's not much. I think there's only one thing that I went back and I looked at some posts that I made that said, oh, I wish I bought this sooner. The only thing I ever talked about was my Titan monolift arms.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
reason was benching at home, just the lift off, right? Versus just the pop and go. Yeah. And I remember when they first came in, I put them together. I think I finished at 7 o'clock at night, wasn't supposed to bench, came downstairs, had to try them. And the most I had benched at home at the time, I think was 365. That night with the monoliths, after my second set, like after getting used to them, I warmed up, hit that, and then I was like, I'm going to keep going. I ended up hitting a home gym PR that night because I had because it was no lift off.
Right. Well, you weren't like straining your shoulders. Yeah.
It's like someone's lifting off for you in a competition, whereas lifting out, instead you just pop and go. Yeah. And I think that night back then it was 380. I think it was 380. For the home gym PR at the time. And I was like, man, why did I not buy these sooner? And I literally said it, posted it, held true. Years later, everyone that lifts at home that doesn't have a pair of monolifts, I don't know how you do it.
No, you have to have them. I think just for safety reasons, you have to have them. Because anytime you're putting your hands behind you to unrack, especially something heavy, there's so much risk involved in that, right? There's so much risk involved in all this stuff. So I think monoliths are just, I think for a home, well, either that or safety spotter arms where you're going to start from the bottom, but not a lot of people are strong enough to do that, Yeah. I absolutely love my Griffin monoliths. All right.
Yeah. Very similar. And another one that's great.
I like how you spell that. Instead of obscurity, it's obscurity. Thanks for the comment, man. We appreciate it.
Oh man. I'm going to say this one so that you have to go first.
Okay.
All right. Expensive lessons learned.
Yeah. There's a reason the kid at my work is coming over this weekend to buy a bar and he can pick whatever one he wants. Because what I learned during COVID was they can't flip forever. And when you're stuck, when you over acquire, because you're just sure that it's never going to end, the gravy train's never going to end, you end up with an entire rack full of bars and you touch one of them. The Thor one's the only one that I would pick up right now. So it's like, that was what I learned was you just can't flip forever and you just are stuck. So one day you're going to wake up just stuck with stuff. How about you?
Not like that. Cause I think I got out of flipping, I think at the right time, or reselling. I didn't really flip. I undercut every flipper in this area. They hate me. Because I would go buy stuff just to get what I wanted out of the package and then resell at cost just to cover my costs so I could build a space for free. But expensive one that I think that I had was I shared the story on the other home gym podcast we did, was adjustable dumbbells, right? Or the all-in-one dumbbell. So when I started my gym, I had the Bowflex 1090s. I got them used, good deal. This is way back before. I tried to tell myself, okay, I'm going to sell those. I'm going to get the handles, right, to load up 55 plus on. And and then I had those. I think I spent $200 on the handles and some weights. Hated them. Then I was like, I'm going to sell those. I bought power blocks for $700 brand new. Didn't like those.
Okay.
Didn't like those. Sold those. I think I sold those at cost to my buddy Dan. So that worked out. And then I just got what I wanted, which was I wanted pro dumbbells, 60 to 100. And I drove to Long Island and bought them. And it was just, I got lucky, right? Because that could have been a really expensive mess up, right? Because I had sold the Bowflex to cover the cost of the other things.
Yeah.
Sold those, then I took a hit for the power blocks when everybody could get them, and I somehow found a friend that wanted a pair, and he's like, "I'll pay you what you paid." And I said, "All right, cool," and it all worked out. But that could have been a real kick in the pants.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it. All right. Last one of this section. What is your biggest marketplace wins?
I've had a lot. I mean, I got most of my Avancos for under $1 a pound. I got my Chroma Lycos for $1.60 a pound. I got these dumbbells behind me, 3 through 60 at the time, GPI Pro Urethanes, 3 through 60 and 2 dumbbell racks. I paid $200, and that was during after COVID. That was crazy.
Nice.
Those were big wins. And then, the other big win was I helped a gentleman clear out his barn. He had something like 6 machines and a bunch of weights. And I messaged him and he said, "What's a fair offer?" And I made him a fair offer. And he said, I know you're going to sell this stuff. I just want the cash and I want it out of my flipping barn. And I said, sure. So I grabbed a trailer. Only time I've ever done this. Grabbed a trailer, loaded up 6 machines, all the weights, came back, built a spreadsheet, sold everything. I think I kept one thing from it. And that was a good win. But I would say I actually, if you had to pick one, and I know I'm rambling, the one I'll pick is these dumbbells, these GPI dumbbells to get 3 through 60. I think it was 3 through 65 plus the 2 dumbbell racks for $200. I sold the dumbbell racks and the 60s. And then I sold them cheap, but I ended up covering obviously my cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love them. I use them every day.
Okay. All right. So I think everyone knows mine because I just can't, if I get a win, I just can't shut up. So it's been on Facebook, it's been on Insta, it's been on YouTube, it's been on Insta again. But I got the 3 that I would say are the Chrome Avancos. I mean, this can't be anything but a win. We went 3+X on the resale on those.
Wow.
The Planet Fitness urethanes were a gift from Lone Stag Performance. Another one. So that was one of the deals that he and I did together before I did the strongman deal with him. He kind of did the inverse with me where he called me and was like, "Hey, bring your checkbook. We're cleaning out a Planet Fitness today." And I got those and more than doubled my money on them. And I had them for over a year using them every single session. So it's like got a ton of value out of them and crushed it when they got out. And then the last one is rhinos that pay for themselves. I don't know if you remember this because I don't know how much I covered it outside of the YouTubes, but I got the first rhino was $1,800. I drove all the way across town for it. I wanted it so bad. And people were making fun of me. On the way back from buying that rhino, because that was almost full price back then, right? On the way back from getting that rhino, a guy in my neighborhood listed his for $1,200. I took the $1,800 one home. I went and got the $1,200 one. I flipped the $1,200 one for the $1,800 because now I'm the only one that has any, and I've got to.
That's pretty good.
And then I did it one more time. I had 3 rhinos in that basement, and I did it one more time. And I didn't get like a rhino free, but I ended up in a really good spot at the end of it because of the amount of flipping I was able to do. And I remember on my phone, people like buddies of mine like making fun of me for paying $1,800. And then the universe, the belt squat universe, what would you call it? The belt squat people came down and said,
yeah.
Let's give him another. Oh, let's give him another.
That's pretty good. That's a good one.
Yeah. What's the
what about disasters?
So I think I don't have a lot of mistakes that were disastrous because of just the nature of when you and I came around. I've had a lot of things that I thought were going to work that didn't, where I took a bath on them. I've had a lot of like specialty bars that I've kind of tried to try, like the Duffalo bar and the, just kind of stuff like that. And like, I've had a bunch of different deadlift bars just trying to find the whip I like and kind of the diameter I like. And I look at that as more like just really expensive research. But what about you? You have a disaster story?
I really don't. I mean, I think the only thing that's a disaster and I'm looking more at recent day, is when you post something and you get a lot of interest, and then it's like, okay, well, which person's going to get here first?
Right.
Right. And then someone writes you a story and I can be there Friday. I got to work the next 3 days and bring my kids here and here.
And you can't, because you lose it, and then it doesn't move.
And it's tough. And then you have to lower the price. And that's happened to me once or twice. And even now my wife will remind me, just go with the first person that can get here.
Correct.
Be more ambiguous in the replies. And I think the way you said it with the road, with your LP, it's like, that's genius. Like, hey, it's here Saturday. Come get it. Whoever's here first with the cash in hand gets it. I think that's got to be my approach. It's funny. I see Carp wrote the Arnold deep dish.
He's talking about the fact that we drove. My wife and I went out there. Well, my son and I went out there on Friday night to get the hoooooooouuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuuu I actually went and I drove almost 7 hours round trip to make sure I got that. And then I got home. Everyone was telling me, they're like, dude, stay, go to the Arnold tomorrow. Just buy a ticket. You know, you're here. Just get a hotel. You've been driving, driven 3.5 hours, right? Don't do it. And I'm like, no. I got to get my kid home. I got to get home. I want this thing in my garage. I don't want someone stealing it out of the car, right? So I go home. I wake up the next morning. Rogue puts out a flash sale of Arnold, those Arnold deep dish.
Yep.
One pair only.
Yep.
Not online. You had to physically be here. My wife and I, at 8 a.m, I shook her awake because my son wasn't going again. I got back in the car. I did another 3.5 hours. So now we're at like 10, right? Did another 3.5 hours there. And what Carp is saying is we somehow got multiple sets, but Carp knows what we did. We went in, I bought a set, she bought a set. We went back in, I bought a set, she bought a set.
Oh, okay.
We drove home, and then I sold a couple sets to pay for a couple sets, and we ended up being clean on that. But that's one of those things where I got a little grief on that. Whoa, why are you charging so much extra? Not everyone can get to Columbus. This is kind of unfair. And I'm like, these are going to be sold. Like, Rogue's not stupid. It's just you're not going to make the mold and only do it once. Like, this is a rib, you guys. Like, the joke's on us. Like, wait 4 days. And guess what they did? A week or two later, you go to the website and buy them right now.
Yeah, I got duped. I bought a pair when the rumor was limited run, one time only. And I remember I sat there, I marked my calendar, and I was like, I gotta buy them. I bought them right away, and then they came in, and I just never used them. It's funny. I actually took a loss on them.
Wow.
Because they were so available.
Yeah.
And so I basically sold them, and I think I ate the shipping.
Okay. Okay.
Which not terrible, but I don't know. It was when, we talked about the gym phases.
Yeah.
The accumulation stage.
Yeah.
And then you start to offload. That was when I was in the big time accumulation. I mean, I had tons of Yorks. I had those. I just had a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I had no idea why. So I sold them. But Carp put it in the chat. First one to pay, no holds.
No holds.
I'm gonna make t-shirts. That's my new motto.
You should. That would be hilarious if next week that's
like Hulk Hogan. No holds barred. No holds barred. I'm gonna go rip them.
No holds barred. With Zeus.
Yes. Oh my God. Great. I loved that movie as a kid, but it also gave me nightmares. It was all in one. Great movie. So, all right. Scott, you did the poll. You were the brainchild behind our weekly poll.
That's right.
So why don't you throw us that?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today is the poll, and the poll was, I'm going to pull open my pictures so that I say it correctly because I'll say it wrong. What is gym gear you cannot live without? Gear, not equipment. And that the gear, not equipment stipulation was put in by Jay, I think Sunday night or maybe Monday. He was like, hey, buddy, not equipment.
Not equipment. And to be clear, I got a few messages on this, by the way. Because gear, of course, in the lifting world.
Oh, yes.
So I had a buddy, Scott, who I don't know.
Creatine.
Well, he's like, not to say this again, but he goes, yo, big dog. I always thought you were au natural. What's with the gear, And I'm like, oh man, we did not specify. Yeah, but not that either.
Your gear that you can't live without is a wide bore needle.
My multivitamin. It's my multivitamin and my creatine and my electrolyte water because I'm constantly dehydrated. Yeah, that's my gear, but I can't live with it. Just kidding.
All right, so you want to go first? You want me to go first? Okay, I'll go. I'll
You
go
go
first.
You
No,
go
I'll go
first.
first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's see it.
in 1983, no, I'm just kidding. So at some point in the early 2000s, these soft belts for strongmans became really popular, and they weren't sold by anyone. They the magazine you had to get. I mean, you want to talk about gear in the old powerlifting community. The magazine you had to find at the back of a closed gym from the 80s, a muscle fitness magazine that that was mail order only kind of thing. That's what you had to do to get these. So Brian Shaw started making them, and they're a soft belt that you put underneath your Pioneer leather belt or underneath whatever belt you choose. And what they do for me is they just keep everything warm, if that makes sense, right? They keep my back warm. I've been pretty open about the fact that I've had back injuries, not due to powerlifting or strongman, but due to other sports. And so this keeps everything warm, keeps things kind of stable. I typically will not, unless it's a maximal lift, I won't put a thick leather belt over the top of this. I'll just use this. So Jay, Big Dog Jay, when I did the 250 log press, which is out there on the interweb, so that was just in a soft belt. I didn't have a belt over that, right? We're okay. But if I was in the throwdown with Kurt, or if I was in someone where I was going to have to do multiple events back to back to back, and it was going to be a long day, I probably would use more support. But in your house where you're doing one lift that day that matters and a bunch of accessories, this is what I use. These things used to be $80 when Shaw put them out. He signed one of them because that's my kids, and then I have a bunch of ones. I've got a red, white, and blue that you would love. That's out in the garage. I use that to run up and down the farmer's walk, up and down the driveway. And this is my piece of equipment that, like, when I go to Home Gym Con, even if I'm not going to lift something, this goes in the car.
Wow, that's great.
How about you?
That's way better than my story. I was struggling with this one. When I saw the poll results, I was like, oh man, the one I'm gonna have the hardest time about. But I have two here. I'll just quickly go on them. One, and this is cool because I've had these since I think 2007 or 2008. And you can see they are well loved, well worn, but Versa grips. Basically,
yeah, explain these to me.
Versa grips?
Yeah.
Oh, you never heard?
What is this?
Oh, it's a wrist wrap, right? It's just
but
a
is
wrist
it for
wrap,
like a bench, or is it like to grab a bar for a pull up or something?
This would be for pull downs, any pulling movement. So I'll be honest, when I was competing more often, I would, either bench heavy, and then I would want to do some type of pulling variation on an accessory day. And either I wanted to rest my grip or my forearms. And so I would just grab these because I hated lifting with grips or deadlifting with grips because you don't use them in a competition. But you've done your heavy work and you're going to accessories. Why overexert your grip is going to be fatigued, right?
Yeah.
So these are good. You just wrap the bar. It's leather. You don't slip. Like I said, I've had these for 17 or 18 years now.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then the other thing is wrist wraps. So actual wraps. I've gone through a bunch of different pairs. I've had Inzers. I've had Elite FTS, probably 3 different ones from Elite FTS. But the ones that I've had the longest are, again, we're not sponsored. Just need to throw that out there. So Versa Grip's not a sponsor. I've had those for 18 years and I paid what I paid. But these are Iron Rebel Rhino wrist wraps, which I love because not a lot of give, but when you're wrapping, they have a little flex to them. The thumb loops, extra thick and really kind of triple almost secured. So when you're wrapping and when you go to compete, obviously you have to take your thumb loops off. The little guys from Elite FTS had thinner thumb loops. Those could snap off and then you can't get them as much. But again, these are probably, I'm going to say 15 years old or 14 years old. And still just so good. Like you'll see they're frayed as all heck.
Yeah.
Love them. Can't live without them. I don't want another pair of wrist wraps. That's it.
Yeah. And I don't use wrist wraps anymore. One, because I'm not going as heavy as you. And that's not like the typical praise of Jay's bench. But like literally at this point, I'm not trying to max. So I don't really need them. But I will say that because I have a wrist-based heart and metrics tracker, it's almost impossible for me to escape mentally that
Mhm.
You know, if I take this off to put those on, am I going to put like a chest strap heart rate? Like you guys probably aren't worried about that stuff, but my coach looks at everything, like every
Mhm.
single thing. And so it's like my heart rate and where I am and whether I'm burning carbs or burning sugar or burning fat, right? It's like, it's weird, but I also,
Yeah.
I'm not benching while you bench. So another
Yeah,
way.
and I do want to say, going back to the VersaGrips, Carp
Yeah.
did put something out there. The more well-known brand, I guess, is Cobra Grips. It's very similar, Carp. You see these a lot. You see the Cobra Grips a lot in CrossFit, where people are doing muscle ups and stuff like that,
Yes.
where they'll wrap
Oh,
around and go.
okay. I know what
It's the
those look
same
like.
thing. It's the same concept. These are I actually believe they're from Maine. I could be dead wrong, but something tells me they're from Maine, so they are an American product. At least they were back when I bought them.
Okay.
But again, a little pricey. That's Frosting and Fitness. I love my Versa grips for deadlifting. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good grip.
All right.
right.
So that is our special section. Thank you for everyone that voted. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Vote early, vote often next week.
Yeah. And maybe we'll have, I don't know. Maybe we'll do, I don't know. We'll figure out what the next question's going to be, but thanks everyone that participated.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now comes the fun part. And Carp, ping me, Carp, if you want me to add you in here for the last couple of minutes, because I think Carp would have something to say here. But what makes a great home gym community?
Yes. All right. So on these bullets that we brainstormed before the session, what do you think? How do you want to handle this one? I think the word. Let me say this. Let me pause for a second before I say this, because I don't want this.
I can go first if you want. You want me to go first?
Well, I don't want this to be heard the wrong way.
Okay.
A community, by definition, is, people with similar interests, needs, wants, desires, supportive, etc. When the home gym quote community is like that, I love it. Like, I love that Facebook group. I love the posts where someone is so proud of their first setup and so proud of their first bar, and everyone's like, yes, like, that's awesome, way to go, love it. And what I don't like about the home gym community is when someone posts a deadlift and they'll be like, lifetime PR, whatever it is. Oh, buddy, you're not bracing, your lower back, and they're quick to rip, right?
Right.
Same thing when you see it with products, right? You see people that rip products. Someone can't afford the Rogue, monster 6-post setup, and they go get, Gold's Gym
Right.
bench with leg curl, right? And they're like, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, oh, buddy, you got to upgrade. It's a tough thing when you see that. But what makes the great community is when it is that supportive environment. And then when it bridges into friendships, you get the random message from someone that says, saw your lift, great lift. It's a unique thing that's become, almost mainstream, but not like, it's getting closer to mainstream, where many people train alone, but feel like they have the support of literally hundreds of thousands of people that are doing the same thing, lifting at home, using equipment, finding the best things they can use in their space, and taking tips and whatnot from strangers.
Yeah.
And supporting each other.
And Tiffany just commented, and Tiffany and I are in several different communities together, including in the cycling world. And yeah, anywhere where like you can be inclusive.
Yes, Tiffany. Yes,
right?
Tiffany.
And you're not just like, and Tiffany she can lift. Yeah. But like anywhere where you can be inclusive and build people up rather than, tearing them down. I think the internet's made it very easy for us to tear people down, or very easy for us to kind of be a little critical. But all right, so then now coming off of that, let me go to this part here. Sorry, I got to my notes. I got to get away. Here you go. How has social media changed home gyms?
You want me to go
I can
first?
tell you. No, I'm going to go first.
You go
I'm
first.
chomping at the bit.
Yes.
So this is how I feel. I feel like influencers, ourselves included, Carp included. Oh, I can't. Well, we're bringing Carp in. Oh, I can't wait. Carp, did you hear the question? You're muted, but let's see if I can unmute you.
Give me a minute. I'm busy.
There you go. Did you hear the question?
No, what'd you say?
I said, how has social media changed the landscape of home gyms?
Oh man, is that for me or y'all taking that?
No, you're taking it.
That's why we brought you in.
Social media, man. Well, it gave the birth to the Farr Outpost, Basement Gym Dad, and Carp's Gym. But I mean, it really showed people what you can do out there. Like there was some blog posts and articles years ago about how you can make an elite setup in your home gym, and just a few hundred square feet. Some of those old CrossFit things and things like that. I never really got into CrossFit, but I think that brought the barbells back to the masses. I bring the barbell, weight plates. Like a lot of us grew up doing that in like high school, playing sports and stuff like that. But most home gyms were like a multi-use machine or something. Most people didn't have a bar and plates at their house, and I think the strongman slash CrossFit community kind of brought that back. So most people have a barbell now, and it showed you like what you could really do. It became like what I say is like home gyms now are becoming like the man cave of the early 2020s or the early
Hey, good
2000s.
take.
Because people built like a theater room or a gaming room or had a pool table and those kind of things, or maybe a little bar or something like that. And now like the big shout out is like, do you have a nice home gym? So I think that's kind of like, it kind of just shows what everybody has, shows big lifts as well. So it can be a motivation thing too, where, like you were saying earlier, there's a guy doing a 200-pound deadlift and people are like, hey man, or they give you tips, or you could even like, cheer you on. I do prefer the side of it where like you get the cheering on and the positivity more than I do the haters. But
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think it kind of just opened it up for everybody. It showed you what's really possible, even in a small space.
Yeah, I feel like it, not in a negative way, but I feel like it's given the people like ourselves, right, and the people like the Coops and the other people, it's kind of given us an outweighted impact, if that makes sense. It used to be that you'd see someone at the gym and you'd bench with them for years without knowing their name. You know what I mean? You knew what he looked like. Oh yeah, it was the dude. He's got kind of the long hair, and he can warm up with 225, right? And that was his name. And now it's like we all know each other, and so I think that's kind of where it is where I feel like, Carp, when you put something out there, there's a lot more legitimacy to it because people know you. They're familiar with you, right? They feel like they know you better than they really do. And so that's the thing about social media for me, is like it's made it so that if you have an audience, suddenly you're like and someone else just talked about this, suddenly you're an expert. When the three of us are just guys that like lifting. That's like the extent of my expertise is years of liking lifting, right?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Carp. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy that walk. Get that cardio in, Carp.
Yeah, right. We're out here, man.
Doing good. Throw the weight vest on. Come on. Be that neighborhood mom.
Right. That was Carp. Carp's the man.
It's funny. The one thing that I think social media, it's really the marketing avenue for these home gym companies as well. And like we've talked about this each of the last 2 weeks, where, a smaller gym company can't go buy a billboard on 95 and sell product.
Right.
Right. But what they can do is take their $100 product, send it to 30 or 50, micro influencers, if you will. They do videos. Now they each have 10,000 or 1,000 to 10,000 followers.
Sure.
You've now made 50,000 impressions.
Yep.
And what's that cost you?
Soft impressions. Right? Soft impressions.
Yeah. Hey, we'll get this marketing language down for everybody here. For those that don't know, I work in marketing. But that's the benefit of social media for those people. It's created careers for a lot of people. Obviously you and I are not there yet. Probably, who knows what the future holds. But I'd still like to see, people actually using products.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like beating it here, like, because I say it every time we talk. You see some of these gyms and they have 4 racks, a ton of machines and everything else. Then there's no weights.
Hey, what's up, Dakota?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, they do aim people over 2K. I mean, or more. I think much more. Now the level keeps going up.
Yeah, I will say that I wish, and we talked about this at a prior week, but I wish that I had a film crew. I got a buddy that
Yeah.
we're in the gym the same amount of time. We're working just as hard, but he can put out a video with him lifting all the time. And for me to do a video of me lifting, I got to spend more time setting up a tripod than lifting. And I would, if I have a half hour, Jay, before work, I'd just rather lift, man.
Yeah. I gave up 2 nights. I gave up 2 nights of working out, Scott, to do a review.
Yes.
And
world famous. Could be world famous.
Could be. It could be. But you give up 2 nights of lifting. And honestly, that you asked me a question, I think it was 2 weeks ago, of how to balance, right? Lifting with posting on social. And I'll tell you, those 2 nights working on that video, I actually sat there and I go, man, I'm not balancing at all right now because I'm giving up lifting to shoot a video. And that's hard.
Yeah. Anybody else out there want to make any comments? Anybody want to say anything? I think we're all in line here. At least we're all trying to be, we're trying to be a good member of the community, and we're trying to make sure that people feel like they can be in a good place. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Oh, a lot. Okay. All right. Let me throw up Dakota's first, and then I'll get Tiffany's. I got to be honest. I get sick of the same content regurgitated over and over all the time. Oh boy, you're going to love this podcast because Jason and I we're friends in real life. So you're going to hear a lot of old stories again and again. I'm kidding. Thanks for coming by. But I agree with you. And Dakota, that part of that is that, like we talked about earlier, where if an equipment manufacturer sends out 6 of the same thing and everybody's trying to be the first one to make the video, then that's what you get. It feeds consumerism. I'm not one to talk. I have 18, but yeah, Tiffany is she's a hoarder. She's a barbell hoarder.
Tiffany, if you could follow up and tell me which barbell of those 18 is your daily driver. Now, I'm just curious because you're somebody who's clearly tried all 18 bars.
Is it going to be, I'm thinking about what she does the most. She does a lot of clean and jerks, and I'm thinking it's going to be the Kabuki deadlift bar, or it's going to be something Olympic. Tiffany, don't let me sway you, but let's see what you say.
Yeah. And then I want to jump back. You made a comment to Dakota's comment about seeing the same thing over and over.
Olympic. It was an ollie bar. Nailed it. Oh, I know my friends, Jay.
That's a bar that I actually want to try just to mess around with overhead press, but I know I'll blow my shoulder out. People want to be first with the review, and then they also want to be so positive so they get the next product, right?
Correct.
Like I think you can be positive while also pointing out the why not, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a good balance, but I think you owe it to people. Like, I told you I did a preacher curl bench, and I literally said, yeah, it's a preacher curl bench. It does what a preacher curl bench is supposed to do, but is it worth the space in your gym? It's still 3 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah.
Of space that you can't use for anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about people saying, oh boy, that's negative. No, it's real. Like I could go, yeah, this is the best, man. My biceps are going to get massive. Like,
okay. So Exponent Edge, your time is coming. We'll talk to you in a little bit here, but this is something that I feel like I'm going to get more out of. If this did one thing, like I could have bought a preacher pad 5 years ago, or a Pritchett pad, right? Like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. I didn't. And they come up on Facebook Marketplace, 40% off all the time. And I didn't because I did. Look at Carp's. Carp remembers you saying you wanted a barn a couple weeks ago. But I didn't because the Pritchett pad does one thing. And I feel like your preacher curl, unless you can flip it upside down and make pancakes or something, like it does one thing.
I will say, if you watch my video, and this is not a cheap plug, please watch the video, give me feedback. The one thing that I really liked about that preacher bench, and Dakota, I agree, for that price compared to other ones that are on the market, you're not going to find a better one. And I'm not saying that, I'm just being honest. Like, I think we've all used cheap ones that, and we use commercial ones.
Yeah.
And didn't move, didn't budge. It weighs 45 pounds, I think. So you can move it out of the way pretty easily. Now, the thing that I really liked about it is I turned it around. I lowered the seat to 16 inches and I did dumbbell presses.
Okay.
Like it was a utility bench because I want a utility bench. And it fell. I put it down. My son was shooting me he actually was videotaping me at the time. I put him down and I looked at him after he turned the camera off. I go, God, that felt good.
Yeah.
Like that. It was like perfect. And I was winded when I was talking on video, but I was like, man, like where it lined up on my back was exactly where a 90-degree bench should be. And so I tried to say that again when I lowered it to 16 inches. Like now you can actually have a 2-use. Exactly, Carp. That's what I was doing. But how many preacher benches are out there that don't have an adjustable seat? They're fixed, right? If you go to some of those cheap ones you see on Amazon, it's a fixed bench and you can't do it.
I tried a rack attachment one. I literally tapped it in, bro. Wow. But Dakota, you're like us. You know, we're all four of us that are like, sorry, Tiff, you're not a bigger dude. But like,
yeah, Dakota, you're a big guy too.
Yeah, we're all I would call us to be adult size males. And so yeah, that's probably why I broke. But
yeah. And it's funny, we're not shopping in the big and tall section. We're just,
I'll tell you what, my biggest pet peeve is when I go to a concert and I go to buy a concert t-shirt and it's the end of the tour. You know, they've been out there. These guys have been out on the road for 90 days and they're like, look, man, we got larges and mediums left. And I'm like, I'd like the adult size shirts, please. I'm not looking for a child size shirt.
Yeah. Which,
he says they didn't weld it. Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. See, now I'm curious. Rack attached ones. Ooh.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the company on that one, Dakota?
I'd love to know. I'm trying to think of who made a rack attached.
Preacher curl. Was it like Synergy or something like that? I don't know. I feel like
Titan made the rack attached leg curl.
Well, and Kinsey just posted one in the last. It just hit my feed in the last couple of days. That was kind of like a multi-use kind of. It had like a preacher curl, but it also kind of looked like you could have used it for like a leg extension kind of thing. I don't know.
Kind of a competitor to Bulletproof, or
yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit the next one here.
Yeah.
So, I love that what you said about commercial gyms versus that. This is gonna be a tough one because we have some folks in the room. Favorite creators and influencers. Revolt.
Well, I mean, I think
Dakota. I don't know if you were on earlier when I mentioned one of my regrets here, but it was my Revolt pad. But
yeah, women's mediums. Yeah, I love that. They're doing that. Yeah, they were walking around with bags like crazy at Home Gym Con, just trying to find anyone to take them. So it doesn't shock me that they that poor guy was carrying so many bags. He probably forgot which ones were dudes. But for me, I feel like, again, like the first people that I ever saw were Coop and Brandon, right? Coop and Basement Brandon. And I felt like they had the right kind of tone, but also the right kind of like sincerity behind it. They didn't feel like an infomercial or like who was the dude, that used to do not the Flex Seal guy, but the guy that predated the Flex Seal guy. Yeah. They didn't come across like that. They came across more like, look, I got this. I looked at it. This is what I think is good. This is what I think is bad. Blah, blah, blah. And so they were kind of my first guys. And then I don't remember if Carp found me or if I found Carp. I don't know. I think that, when we were like, when you and I Jay, when we kind of hooked up, like there was a influx of people, right? We were all kind of out there just lifting and just kind of posting videos of lifting and just trying to kind of find a community. But yeah. And I think if I looked right now at the main reviewers, it's going to be my friends, which I love. It's going to be Seth and Bryce and Basement Brandon and you. And it's a nice little world right now. And Carp, obviously. Come on, Carp. And Colonial Barbell, like all the people I met, like a couple weeks ago, I met Colonial Barbell and I met a bunch of people. Like, and so it's been nice to add those kind of into my subscriptions, right? And try to, and yes, to Dakota's point, a lot of people are reviewing the same stuff, but they were there at the same time. So they kind of know how to tackle it differently, right? Or maybe how to have a slightly different point of view if they can. There's only so much you can say about the.
I feel like a lot of people aren't taking the road of why you may not want to buy something.
Well, yeah, you can't take that road.
I think, I mean,
you can't take that road.
Brandon used to, and Brandon did it, and he did it well.
But he's doing it from the strength of 500,000 subscribers, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to keep talking about the Go Move Preacher bench because, again,
Wow.
great bench, but it's not for everybody. If you don't have 3 feet by 5 feet space, like, you're not going to buy it. And I think it's okay to say that versus, you know, the ones that got you in trouble, like Gluck got in trouble. Jonathan, I think, also towed that line with Vulcan. But the question was, who are my favorites, right? You listed most of them. Obviously,
It's a
I
tight
like
knit.
Brandon's.
It's a tight
I
knit
like
group.
Brandon's approach. I try to model the few reviews that I've done. I try to model after Brandon, where I try to use it, show it in action with some weight on it, and then say why you're going to want it and what are possible shortcomings or why you may not want it for your particular space. I think that's a good way to attack it, and maybe it'll work for me, maybe it won't. You know, I like the people that you mentioned. I mean, I love seeing Carp lift. Carp, we need more Carp lifting videos. And he did put in the chat, the worst thing to happen to your lifting and gains is creating content.
There you
Right?
go.
There was a great quote, Carp. You should put that on a shirt for next Home Gym Con.
It's so true.
I'll go halves with you, Carp. Now I want trademark rights. But it's true. And I still like Coop. I miss when they used to have the website that you could go to and he had star ratings. Do you remember this? When he first started out,
Yeah.
and you could go there and look up everything, and they have pros, cons, star rating, and then you could compare it to like products. That was cool. That's also 16 years ago, but it was really cool. I miss things like that.
Yeah. I feel like I feel all of those statements.
And it's funny that Carp has become such friends with both of us, because I remember when, you know, Carp, don't blush here. When Carp was just starting out, right?
Yeah.
And he had his original rack, and we used to send pictures of each other's like first setups versus second setups and all that. Yeah. And now he's leaving Home Gym Con with a 24-foot U-Haul.
Right.
And I think he made his wife drive a second one this year.
Couple of them. Yeah.
Just to get all the stuff home into the, now it's the Carp estate, I believe.
It's awesome.
Home gym.
I remember
it's cool.
I remember when Carp and I had the same number of, I remember when he caught me, when he had the same number of subscribers, and I was so proud. I was like so proud of him because he was really like invested in it. Like he was really trying, you know what I mean? And I was like, that is just awesome. And of course now he's like, I think he got 3 or 4 times, at least 3 times what I have. So good for you. But I will say this, just in my own defense, because you know me, like I'm just, look, man, this is fun for me. But I will say that the amount of time that Carp has to spend, like, and you just went through this space, Jay, you just went through this, like setting up the equipment, setting up the lighting, cutting the video, knocking the equipment down, listing it for sale, dealing with people that want to buy it, moving new stuff in. I feel like there's sometimes when Carp will have like an Instagram story every day of something showing up, and that's a backlog of like work. It's a backlog of like stuff that you have to review before you can move it. And he'll never tell us, I'm sure he'll never tell us his financials as far as like whether he's doing well on the resales or not. I don't know if it even matters. It may just be like, get me the space in my garage.
Could be a hobby.
Back. Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what it is for me and you, I think.
Yeah.
It's a fun hobby to disconnect after a long work day to, hey, you've done a lot for the kids, you know, for the last couple of days. Let's go take an hour and have some fun testing something. Like, and it's fun, and it should be fun. You know, they say when something stops being fun, it becomes a job. Right.
Yeah. And I will say this. Oh, here we go. I will say that. Oh, look at that belt squat machine. Good job, Dakota. I will say that in order to have Carp's deadlift, because the man can deadlift.
He can deadlift well.
Dude, he can deadlift, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it would, I don't know how many functional trainers I would put together and take apart in a week to be able to do a 455 cold. But I can tell you that he can move some weight. You'll see him next year. You're going to go to Home Gym Con next year. I know it.
Yeah.
And Carp's going to be there at the deadlift off, and he's going to just do something ridiculous again. The guy just can move the weight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Gluck. Gluck has great space, right? Where he has half his gym that is basically for demo, video, etc. And then, you know, he and his wife lift on the other side. It's an ideal setup. It's a great space.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I missed this. I missed what Dakota said. So Dakota, what you're saying is that you reviewed a
yeah,
belt
he's
squat
got a belt squat. I think it
and
was
no one will
this.
buy it from you. And so you're down to $100 on it, just trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
What brand is it? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, he sent it to me the other day.
Yeah, well, Carp, look, what you're describing with the space you always keep this. Oh, GMWD, he said. The space that you're describing where you have a set gym space and then a separate like studio to record stuff, that's Mr. Basement Gym Dad's barn that we're all waiting for him to hit. That's going to be our home studio for podcasts going forward as soon as
Oh, it's
his
gonna be
wife
great.
signs off on it.
Yep. You know, yeah, I'm sure she would in a heartbeat too, which is funny. She's down here more than I am lately. Give her the public shout out here. She sets her alarm every day at 5 a.m. and gets down here.
I love that for her. I love that. Is that why you're going to start working out in the morning?
Possibly, but I typically hear her alarm and I go, come on, hit snooze, hit end or something, so I can roll over and get another hour, you know. But I need to start getting up with her to get it done. But
yeah, I this morning my alarm went off and I did I get out of bed? No, I did not.
Wasn't a swim day?
No, and it was, well, it's
Thursday.
Thursday, so Thursdays are usually bike, but I've got, like I said, I've got the new person, so I'm interviewing all day, but then I'm also back to back, and I've got the other projects. So this was one of those days where I just went and bought a Starbucks, started the meetings, and then in between meetings, I got another Starbucks, and then lunch rolled around, and I got another Starbucks, and we got through it. So.
Yeah, that's good. Well, the last thing I think was on our list about friendships, right? And if this podcast today didn't say enough about that, I think just to hammer the nail is the home gym community building the friendships that it does create. Like I sit here and I think I have friends all over the country, and
yeah,
a lot of them are in this chat right now, and I probably know more about them than some of the people I may work with or elsewhere. And it's just, that's the positive that can really come from the quote home gym community is you make friends in these Facebook groups. Maybe you message each other questions outside of it. Hey, I'm thinking about buying this. I saw that you had it. What do you think of it? How does it work? Is it worth the money, etc. And then you get to become friends. And then maybe someday you'll host a little podcast with them and you're 3 weeks in, who knows?
On to more, my man. On to more.
Well, what do you think, Scott?
That was a good one.
Yeah, not too bad. I think we're starting to hit our stride. I think you look great, by the way. The lights, huge ad. The mic, incredible. You sound beautiful. I think a lot of people got the good feelings tonight from you.
Thank you very much.
I'll bring us home. I want to thank everybody who's able to join us tonight. Those that are watching the replay, maybe while you're lifting, maybe while you're driving. Be sure, we're Far Side of the Basement. Be sure to subscribe to us both on YouTube. Follow us both on Instagram. We have the same handles on both channels at the Farr Outpost. That's with 2 R's. And then I'm Basement Gym Dad. Continue to join us every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you've got ideas for podcasts, please send us a message. We'll work it into the show that week. And please be sure to come back. We love having you here. And we'll catch you soon.
Great night, everybody.